Good morning. All right. Welcome to ROSCon 2016. My name is Brian. Thank you. My name is Brian Gerke. I'm the CEO of the Open Source Robotics Foundation, and I'm very happy to have all of you here. We are going to have a full house, so please scoot into the middle and make sure we've got room for everybody. And just as a housekeeping note, if you did not manage to get registered during this morning, that's okay. Just come back during the coffee break and we will sort that out. So, we couldn't do this without our sponsors, for whom we're very, very grateful for their support. We've broken all kinds of records this year, in this case both in the number of sponsors and in the amount of support that we've gotten. So thank you very much to our sponsors. They've got some great exhibits just outside of this room, which you'll be able to see during the coffee break and also during the reception. How did we put this together? It involves a lot of people, only some of whom I'm going to show you here. There are more people behind the scenes who help, including, frankly, all of you. So our organizing committee this year was my colleague Tully, Ryan Garapi from ClearPath, myself, and Daniel Stonier from Eugen Robot right here in Seoul. And then the program committee was that group, plus Ian McMahon from Rethink Robotics, Tom Moore from Locust Robotics, and Melanie Wise from Fetch Robotics. Those are the folks who together looked at the proposals that you sent in and decided which proposals were going to be the best fit and the best mix to be presented here. So if you don't like the program, you can come bother one of the 7 of us. This year, for the first time, we decided, one moment. There are also other people who are really involved behind the scenes doing the organizing. My colleague and our CFO at OSRF, Roberta Friedman, and also Carly Copra from Meet Green, who is here somewhere in the audience. They've done a lot of work behind the scenes making sure that this actually happens seamlessly. Also this year, for the first time, we've put a specific effort into increasing diversity among our audience here at ROSCon. And so this is an effort that started internally at OSRF with some of the people you see listed there at the bottom. And my colleague and software engineer at OSRF, Deanna Hood, took the lead and is our diversity chair this year. You'll be hearing from her actually in a morning presentation today. She took the lead and organized, for the first time that we've ever done this, a diversity scholarship program, by way of which we were able to support the travel and attendance of 16 scholars from around the world who are coming from underrepresented groups. This is something that we think is immensely important to the tech industry in general, to the robotics industry more specifically, and to our community in particular. So we're really happy about that, and I'm very happy to say that we've spent, in rough numbers, about 10% of our conference budget on this particular effort. So that's the level of importance that it has for us. As always, in addition to the main program, which is posted online, and there are also signs out front, we do lightning talks. So we do 2 of these, 1 per day. The first one will be at 10 minutes to 3 this afternoon, and the second one will be at 20 minutes to 3 tomorrow. The way this works, and many of you asked to sign up in advance, and I said no, because you can't. We do this on a first-come, first-served basis. Each talk is a maximum of 3 slides, 3 minutes. This is going to, you have to find the person whose name is To-Do, to whom you're going to, so look for someone named To-Do, and give that person your slides. Kent, where's Kent? Kent is named To-Do. So what you need to do starting during the first coffee break today is find Kent and get your name in there for a lightning talk. It will be oversubscribed, so I can't guarantee that you'll get a slot, and be kind to Kent, don't mob him. But we'll get in as many as we can. And what you'll do is, if you've got slides, you don't have to have slides, but if you've got slides, hand them to Kent. He'll put them on a single computer, and then we'll present from there this afternoon. And if you've been to this event before or watched it, you know that we're very, very strict with the timing at a max of 3 minutes, and Ryan Garapi will take no end of joy in clapping you off the stage if you try to run over. We also do birds of a feather sessions. So this is a time that we have reserved each afternoon right after the lightning talks, and this is meant to be self-organized. So as you were lining up for registration this morning, you may have seen a whiteboard that's out in the hall behind you. The idea is that you write down a topic that you think would be of enough interest to get a group of people, anywhere from 5 to 25 people, let's say, who might be interested in that topic. Write it down on the whiteboard. And if you see a topic that you're interested in, indicate your interest there. And then what we will do is take all that information and we will decide heuristically, which topics seem to have enough interest, and then we will allocate space in here, in the room next door, and in other places for people to congregate and discuss in person those particular topics. Again, for this, you want to sign up before the end of lunch today, and that's the deadline that's written on the whiteboard out front. So, how do we do this year? Like I said, on sponsorship we broke records, and on registration we broke records. We're actually, we sold out in advance for the second time in 2 years. And so we're at an official total of 437 as of last night. I think that number is probably even a little bit higher now with some folks that got added in at the last minute. I did some early demographics on this, and you can see that a couple of shifts here. One is from the first time we did ROSCon, we were about 50-50 student, non-student. Now we're starting to see more like 2/3 non-student. I take that as one indication that we're starting to see more interest from industry, which I think is a good thing for the community. And when we decided to do ROSCon here in Seoul, we looked at many different options, including maybe doing it in the Bay Area, which is, I can tell you, way more convenient for us because our office is in California. But we said, we've never done this event in Asia. It's important to do that. And we can see the results right here, where, over 40% of our attendees are coming from the Asia-Pacific region, which, if I were to compare this to previous years, is a massive shift. In fact, I think we're almost 30% of the people here are from Korea, and that's a huge increase over what we would normally see. And I'm really happy to see that. We're really getting to connect with our community in a place where we don't normally do that. A few metrics of how the ROS community is doing, and if you want more details, go to the wiki page there. Our colleague Tilly Foote just published our latest annual metrics report. Basically, everything is up and to the right, as they say. We're about 150% increase year over year in how many people are downloading ROS packages. And if you look at where those people are coming from, what's happened over the last year is that China has become our number 2 location for people looking at our wiki documentation. So, and that's been a change over the last few years. China moved up past Germany, past Japan to become number 2. So we've got a huge amount of interest in Asia, and obviously Korea and Singapore are up there as well. So we're really happy to see that, as well as Japan. If you look at what distros people are using, it's a good thing. They're using the long-term support distros. So we've still got a majority of people, by way of, at least by measuring downloads, who are using Indigo, and we're starting to see use come up on Kinetic. You may have heard the news a couple of weeks ago that we created a new organization, which is a subsidiary of the Open Source Robotics Foundation. It's a taxable, for-profit subsidiary called the Open Source Robotics Corporation. And what we're doing here is following the model that other open source communities have done to create a company as opposed to a foundation which can more freely work with industry. And this was really done by demand of industry who wanted to support what we're doing, but because of the way that nonprofit tax laws work in the United States, our hands were really tied in terms of working with them, even doing open source work. So we're really excited to have been able to go through this reorganization to create this new entity that is going to have a freer hand to work with industry. To be clear, our intent and our goal is still to do the open work that you know us for. So the goal of creating this organization is to be able to get a closer connection with industry who are starting to use our platform in interest and be able to meet their needs. I can say that we're interested in talking with any of you who are at companies who would like to support what we're doing and find out what it is that you need. And I'll also tell you that we're hiring. Today we have 2 coffee breaks, actually 2 coffee breaks each day, as well as a catered lunch. The way this is going to work is the coffee breaks are in the area out behind here, as well as in the overflow room to your left. And lunch will happen in 2 places. When you go to lunch, most of you should go upstairs to the 5th floor. There's more space up there. But also maybe a quarter to a third of people can stay on this floor, and there'll be lunch in the overflow room to your left. Lunch today is sponsored by ARM, for which we're very thankful. We have a reception with food and drinks at 6 o'clock today, which is sponsored by Intel, for which we're very thankful. And that will happen in the area, again, just out behind you and to your left. Our Wi-Fi today, you've probably noticed already, it's ROSCon Wi-Fi by Bosch, and so that was sponsored by Bosch. We're very grateful to them. We're also live streaming thanks to Ubuntu/Canonical. So there's the website. My understanding is we've got a couple of technical difficulties which I can see being resolved to my right now. The live stream will be up shortly. That's so for folks who are ready to watch from home. And again, we record all this and do videos after the fact. If you're into the whole social media thing, there are some strings of characters and numbers which may be of interest to you. And then finally, thanks again to our sponsors, and I should mention that many of them are also recruiting. So if you're looking for a job, I would encourage you to talk to the folks who are at the tables out there and find out what it is that they're looking for, because this is an excellent chance to make a connection. Thank you.